All right, guys, welcome in. Welcome back to Above Ground World News, reporting from FEMA Region 7. And it's getting hot, just like we thought, man. It's going to be like we're on the sun side of Mars here over the next few days here in Missouri. And anyway, we got a bunch of articles to get in before we jump into the weather and all the crazy horrible news out there. But you always find these tests on us, later down the road, like this right here. This just come out today. House orders Pentagon to say if it weaponized ticks and release them. This order requires the agency to say if it exterminated with insects for use as a biological weapon between the 1950s in 1975. Awareness has grown since the disease carried by deer ticks, and especially prevalent on Cape Cod and islands, was first discovered in the late 1970s. More and more patients are being correctly diagnosed and treated with antibiotics to kill the bacteria. This reminds me of the same test, the lithium test. How about the radiation that was being sprayed out of station wagons and off the corners of buildings in St. Louis? I can't remember what that project was, but it was a horrible test on the humans, on us. And they do all, we find out about these experiments that have been done on us, via the bugs, via the sky, via whatever they want to use. And by that time, it's too late. So the House quietly voted last week to require the Pentagon Inspector General to tell Congress whether the department experimented with weaponizing disease-carrying insects and whether they were released into the public realm, either accidentally or on purpose. Well, we always know it's on purpose. Just like the Zika, just like the mosquitoes, they got, engineered mosquitoes, engineered bees. They're trying to play God, and it's going to backfire just like it always does. We got other news to get into here. Humans, let me close that out. Humans may be accidentally geoengineering the oceans. This come out today. Iron particles released by industrial activities are falling into the seas in greater quantities than previously thought. Are they not looking at the ship tracks and the bunker fuel too? All the nanoparticulates out here, all the nanobots. As the saying goes, what goes up must come down. As it turns out, a lot of what goes up comes down into the world's oceans. No kidding. Yeah, just like the fluoridating and all that stuff. Iron particles released by human industrial activities are one example of a pollutant that goes into the atmosphere and eventually settles into the sea. How about in our lungs? How about in our brains? The consequences are still unclear, but they're worth investigating, scientists says. Don't you think it's a little freaking late for that? Don't you think we're like way beyond that? And then you get down here later in the article, scientists have been exploring the possible effects of iron fertilization as a form of geoengineering for the last 15 years. In that time, various research groups have conducted at least 13 experiments in both natural and controlled environments, according to the 26th review paper. Scientists are still debating on how useful the process could be for climate mitigation. There's that word again. Instead of climate control or weather control, they call it climate mitigation. But I got all these links will be in there. I'm not going to read these whole articles. And here was the scientific paper on the ocean iron fertilization experiments, past, present, and future, looking to Korean ion fertilization experiment in the Southern Ocean project. See what this picture looks like here. Hey, thanks out there, Brendan. Much love out there. Oh, I wanted to zoom in on that. So let's take a look at this. If I could zoom in on it so you guys can see it too. All right, so you got the satellites up here beaming down. The ionospheric ion input. You got the icebergs, the CDT, sub-bottom profiler, biological pump, hydrothermal vents. You know, they always, try to mimic. Why do they need to change the climate? Why do they just leave it alone? It's because they're terraforming the planet. They're not making the planet suitable for us. They're making the planet suitable for the fallen ones. They're not doing anything to help us. And we're going to see more and more with the weather control, more and more of this drastic climate change action. And they're getting where they can't be radical enough. It just blows my mind that they are pushing this climate change and they don't factor any of these tests. They don't factor in any of the weather programs, any of the weather control. So that tells you right there that they're just trying to deceive the people. If they were doing real scientific studies, they'd have to factor in the volcanoes. They'd have to factor in the chemtrails. They'd have to factor in the bunker fuel operations. They'd have to factor in the cloud ionizers, the ionospheric heaters, all the NEXRADs, all the 5G. They have to factor all that stuff in, but they won't. More scientists now think geoengineering may be essential. I call BS. How about if they halt every bit of the geoengineering? But it's not going to. They're going to keep it up. They're going to keep it up until everybody is packed into the smart city. Everybody is totally unfree, which we're almost there. Look at this right here. Let's see. In 15 years' time, impacts of warming worsen. Planes loaded with sulfate particles start taking off from airfields around the world. They fly 65,000 feet, well above existing airlines, and spray their loads onto the stratosphere. 4,000 flights in the first year, 8,000 in the second, 12,000 in the third, and so on. After another 15 years, fleets of purpose-built high-altitude tankers are making 60,000 flights annually. The thickening shroud of particles would fight climate change, mimicking the output of volcanic eruption. What about all the volcanic eruptions that are already going on? What the hell are these people trying to do? They're not trying to save the planet at all. Yeah. It's crazy. So over here, they won't load this page now. But what it was, this was an article on Japan. They abandoned the development of the 5G networks over health of the citizens. But look, they hid the article. Now we can't get it. They took it away. So I can't report on it. I didn't screen capture it in time. So that sucks. 2 million in Zimbabwe's capital have no water as city turns off the taps. The situation is bad, period, says spokesman. Suburbs go weeks without water and cases of typhoid are being reported. So more than 2 million residents around Zimbabwe have no water, no running water. The drought pushed the system into collapse. So 50% of the 4.5 million people and 4 satellite towns currently have access to the municipal water supply. There is a rotational water supply within 5 towns. We're seeing this in other places too. I mean, there's tons of places that they're cutting the water off. You know, when you flood out one side of the planet, you're droughting out the other because they're affecting the whole ecosystem. And I say that all the time. When you're making it rain on one side, you're making it dry on the other. It's like, I'm not even sure how to explain it, but it's all interconnected. So, yeah, pray for them people. But guess what, though? This is where it gets crazy, because the Ugandan officials welcome climate research to manage the drought and flooding. So this goes into the companies that are engineering the weather. This goes into the global climate control company, the weather modification companies. This is where they steer the atmospheric rivers, like the Miles Research Company. And they're going to force it to rain here. So, yeah, so they're going to push this part to give these other companies a chance to come in and ionize the clouds and use the ionospheric heating and all the other weather modification programs. Check this out in Hawaii. They violated the Clean Water Act.
He is guilty of violating a federal Clean Water Act.
That is the ruling that came down from a federal judge over of Kauai. Sam Spangler joins us now with details. Sam.
Well, Dash,
we don't need the details. We know what it is. They sprayed the glyphosate and the pesticides and ruined the water aquifers. You know, the Clean Water Act wasn't to help clean water. It's more about dumping toxic crap near cities and towns, fracking water, you know, all the bad stuff to ruin the water aquifers. It seems like they want to ruin every body of water on the planet so that you have to pay for the water. Just like that global trading here. Let's go, see if I can bring that up. We'll bring this up. These guys over out of the United Arab Emirates, they want to hijack the sky. This company right here, Global Control Trading Company. These guys want to steal all the water in the sky, the rivers of the sky. And then they want to sell it to you by the barrel, by cryptocurrency called the climate Quran. See right here, they do seawater desalination technology, 1 cubic meter, $50. Cloud seeding technology, 1 cubic meter, $10. Now their technology that only uses natural climatic processes. 0.55 cents per 1 cubic meter of fresh water of natural origin. This is the company that just did the flood test over at Iran, where they flooded out 90% of Iran just within a month's time. So these guys are out of Abu Dhabi, and there's more. This is just one of the companies. Here, I'll post a link into the chat for if you guys want to check this company out, see what they like to do. And when you look at some of their stuff, man, they show the roads washing away from the floods, and they're all just smiling and like, man, we got this. We control the weather. We're going to turn the deserts green. So yeah, man, it just blows my mind that people don't think this is going on when you have hundreds of companies out here that are doing this all across the planet, but they try to keep it hid from us. And it takes people like us to show that here it is, success of the work in Iran. We documented this whole story. There was another company called the electromagnetic. I'm trying to click this here, see if I can get over. The weathergenerators.net. Here, we'll bring them up. This will blow your mind. They have a YouTube channel. I follow their YouTube channel. They document their weather engineering programs using their antennas. Here they are, Middle East since 1995, the Weather Generator Project. We don't create clouds, we enhance them. See, all these companies that are controlling the rivers of the sky, they use electromagnetics. They mock the chemtrails. They don't need them. They just steer these systems. They bust off a hunk of a high pressure, turn it into a low pressure system, and then they bring it on. The Dubai weather generator is on. Daily updates. You can get daily updates on the weather generator. Weather generator has brought rain and clouds to Dubai. They offer, dust mitigation and tornado mitigation, all kinds of stuff. Look at their saying here. The hour will not begin until the land of the Arabs once again becomes meadows and rivers. They all pray to the Allah, man. Yeah, rain enhancement, air pollution dissipation, smog eradication, shield dust and sandstorms, reduce humidity. Where do you think all these sandstorms have been coming from? They sent them away from them and then over to us. It's definitely a weather war going on. And, eventually they're going to see, they want to get in globally. Climate disasters have cost more than $650 billion in the last 3 years. See, they want to get in on some of that. That's what they want to do. Hey, we love you all out there. So anyway, guys, man, this stuff is going on regardless of what anybody says. It's all out here. We just have to search for it. We just have to read into it and dig the truth out. So Hawaii, poisoning the beautiful lands, the beautiful islands. Check this out. A woman sues NASA over moon samples from the Apollo 11 mission. This comes out of Kansas City. A Illinois woman has filed a lawsuit in federal court in Kansas City claiming NASA stole some of her moon rock samples from the Apollo 11 moonwalk mission. They bought a bag full of moon samples and NASA come and took them back. They wanted to borrow them. I mean, what is this about? So she lent NASA the rocks back in 2015. I mean, what is going on here? We give these people all this money. They sell the fake rocks, then they take them back. But anyway, she sued them for $1.8 million and beat them the first time. She bought the moon rocks for $995. Well, she sued them and got $1.8 million back. But then now she's suing them again because the bag was messed up and they're missing some rocks. What the hell? Oh man, stupid. Okay, so check this out. Over in Hong Kong, this is going to be going on worldwide. I mean, they got this massive protest going on in Hong Kong, and it's over that extradition, but the people are actually winning right now. I mean, who knows what's going to happen over here. I really haven't read this yet, so I probably won't get into this. I got the links down in the description. Yeah, I'll sell some rocks, man. My whole yard is rocks. We could call them moon rock. We'll call them space rocks. Now, there's all kinds of crap exploding, man, all across the place, everywhere. We got planes dropping out of the sky, hitting turbulence that shouldn't be there. It's because they're affecting the jet stream winds, the polar vortex winds. But there's a lot of electromagnetic going on. A lot of, all this machinery and equipment they use to affect the weather is affecting everything. It's affecting our health. It's affecting the birds, Birds are dropping out of the sky left and right. Bees are dying. Explosions are going on everywhere. This was just one in California. I wasn't going to really get into all this stuff here. The quake to make Los Angeles a radioactive dead zone. Yeah, we'll get into that later. And, you know, they're starting to come out about the floods. You know, I'm taking a trip to Omaha tomorrow. I'm going to see if it's still flooded. I'm going to see if hours and hours of towns are still deserted. But look at these two pictures right here. One is from March 8th, 2019, and then 7/2/2019. Same thing. It's still flooded. Everything is still underwater. And this is just tons of states, man. It's in one state. This is like 14 states. Nothing on the mainstream. You might get an article like this here and there. That's about it. Here's one coming out. Here's one more little article out of Nebraska. Winslow, Nebraska, on path to uncertain future. When the floods arrived in March, they're still flooded. Nebraska was faced with the uphill fight, and things haven't got much easier. Nearly every home in the village north of Fremont took water on. I had the full story. Where's the full story? Oh, here it is. So right now, the FEMA and all them are telling the people to move the village to higher ground, rebuild it where it stands, or accept the buyout and move on. That's what they want. They want the land. This is a land grab, just like the fires. Same thing, but they're using water, they're using fire to take your land. Hell, they even use tornadoes. They definitely are taking the land. So we're getting weird crashing waves, birds flying off target. You know, it's all the electromagnetics that are getting freaked out, and we know why. Probably not going to get in. That's an older article. The drought, yeah, that's from. You know, we even engineered the droughts back in the day, the big dust bowl. That's because they cut all the trees down, man, and it created a massive drought. That was a man-made problem. Out in Germany, 17 tons of cocoa burns on the Germany highway. I can't remember why I wanted to look at this, but I think it was just because there's more explosions that have been going on. Check this out. You guys want to know, where does all the lithium come from? Where does all the alumini and all that stuff? Well, it comes from overseas, but check this out. Residents near, this is coming out of Australia. Lithium refinery fears jobs are going to city workers. You know, they sprayed lithium from the planes. Well, an American company building Western Australia's biggest lithium refinery has received pushback from locals in South Wales. See, they're talking about this, you know, as a job thing. It's expected to produce 100,000 tons of lithium hydroxide each year. The byproduct of this, that could easily be put into the aircraft trails. You know, you can only make so many batteries. I haven't been on the email. I didn't get to go by the PO or anything today, guys. So, yeah, I had a horrible day at work. But, yeah, when I look at this article, I'm thinking lithium, huh? 100,000 tons a year. How many batteries could they make with that versus what are they putting out in the sky? Well, let's take a look here. We're looking out here in the Pacific. We have a huge shipping operation, and hopefully you guys can see that. These are the ships. We change this to the Cirrus level, and then you're going to see the planes. So you're going to see the planes on this one. I can highlight this one and make it stand out a little better. But you can see the drifting, but then you see the long lines out here. That's the aerosols by the planes. We go to the visible red. You can see the ships. I don't know if I highlight this in different colors. Or here, let's just go right over here. Check this out. We're on the worldview map. All these squiggly lines that kind of start in a point and then drift out. That is the ships. All these grid patterns out here, that's from the ships. I mean, have you ever seen pictures of bunker fuel, the black, nasty crap coming out of the ships? Well, they're seeding the sky. They're turning the sky white. And then they're hitting it with a bunch of electromagnetics. That's why these clouds are all freaky looking. They're not like normal clouds because they're being ionized. What they've done, they've turned the whole ionosphere into a plasma antenna. They put these particles up in the sky, then they toast it. They're toasting the sky. And then we breathe all this crap and we get the lung infections and sick and Alzheimer's. It's never ending. They're not going to stop the spraying. We got fires going on all over up in Canada. I mean, look at these fires. I mean, these are huge areas being burnt out. Alaska's on fire. I think I've seen some fires up here in Oregon, Washington. Maybe that was yesterday. Aerosols being deployed in Nevada. They're everywhere. All along the East Coast. Here, let's take a look over here. RFB still out there. We know you're getting hit. We can see them out here off the coast. They sprayed out ahead of this. Look at this up here in Maine. Look at Maine and New Brunswick, man. They're getting waxed. This is a bombardment. This is not Maine, Quebec, New Brunswick. Going all the way up into Quebec. Up here in Churchill Falls. Bombarded up. They're bombarding the Davis Strait. Hell, they're spraying all the way up. So we got aerosols being deployed all over Canada, the whole state, the whole place. And then you got to wonder when you see some of these heavy aerosols, what's going on over here? Look at this stuff. None of this is natural. These clouds even look evil. You can see the big old thick liners going on here. And yeah, they're definitely going to buffer us now. Let me stop that to see if this helps. You know, when I'm showing the evidence, they like to buffer the stream. Now it's saying no active data. What the heck? Well, I'm trying to see if the stream will catch up because I can see it's dropping frames. I don't want the video and the audio to be all freaked out like they always do to us. Yeah, hopefully the stream will catch back up right at 10 o'clock. Isn't that weird? Right at 9 o'clock, right at 10 o'clock. They always watch. Was put like 5,000 ads on it so people just turn it off. It's ridiculous. That's why you guys need to make sure you're subscribed to the D Live and the Twitch, because eventually they're not going to let us do this on here. And that's why we're trying to grow them channels just in case. But yeah, man, this is just freaky looking up here. So I'm hoping the stream catches back up because this is something you got to see, man. These are definitely not healing chemtrails. These are like fire accelerants. Iowa. Kansas City got hammered today. Oklahoma. Look at that big fat liner going right down the highway. I know the dog's barking. Sorry about that. There's a raccoon. She got in a fight with a raccoon out there a little bit ago. Look at this big liner. We'll let that load. Make sure that's not a... Hopefully the stream will come back, man. It's really looking like crap. It's not dropping too many frames, but it's showing the output's really low. All right, let's go on down here. I'm going to show you some other crazy spots here. Check this out down in Argentina, Paraguay. Look at this spraying operation. What is this? These aren't even real looking clouds. I mean, you got drifting out chemtrails. I mean, this is just weird looking. So you got a mega spraying operation right over here. Look, and I mean, that's so targeted. You also have a few ships out here. Same thing over in Australia. Australia is getting pounded. Look at France. I can see them from here. France has nothing but fake synthetic clouds. Mass geoengineering program. Look, they were doing the short segmented sprays. Just click the layers here, trying to get a good pickup of it. Yeah, look at this. Super aerosols being deployed. All over the Netherlands. It's going to be hitting you at night. Look at that fat line right there. So you got, you know, spraying going on all over the North Sea, in between Norway, in between the UK. It's going on worldwide. You know what? Look at over here above Portugal. Look at this spraying. Look at these grids. These are grids. And what happened, to kind of give you an idea what has to happen eventually if you want it stopped. You know, Portugal down here, they were getting cloud seeded like crazy, man, through the winter. I mean, big time. And something happened to their NEXRADs. Their NEXRAD radars went down, and guess what happened? Not one cloud seeding operation. The planes couldn't take off. They couldn't fly, so they couldn't do weather engineering program. It stayed sunny here for weeks until they got the radars fixed. Look at it now. They're back to spraying. It's all back online. Skynet's back online. You got mega spraying. They're not going to stop spraying chemtrails, and they're damn sure not going to be spraying good chemtrails. There's no such thing. We got a big dust storm over here by Egypt. Look at that dust getting ready to fly. Actually come from a little more from Libya, and it's drifting over Egypt. You know who don't get chemtrails? Right here. They don't get 5G. They don't get chemtrails. They probably don't have ticks. Another dust storm down here. This is where all the other, right over here is where the other big weather modification companies are. Tons of fires going on up in Russia. I mean, you can see they're burning up all up in here. Tons of weather modification goes on over here. I mean, they flood these people out like clockwork. Australia, we got fires going on in the north again. And you got aerosols being deployed in the north. What is this, some kind of rogue? Is this a UFO? No, it's a big old fat liner out here in the middle of the ocean. They were doing segmented sprays. You find that a lot where you see the fires, they're spraying the accelerants on it. Look at this. This is a huge fat trail. That's not fire smoke. Now they've been dropping the bunker fuel out here for a couple days. I don't know if they're out here today. I'm looking here. I don't really see them out here today. I see a few aerosols being deployed, but and you got down here New Zealand, what's going on down here? They got the gun buyback thing going down here, trying to take everybody's guns. Don't give up the guns. You give up the guns, you're done for. Trump's not going to do a damn thing. He don't. People, you got to understand. They're going to their satanic books. Trump's not going to help us. He's going to push the 5G on us. There's nobody, every single politician on the planet is corrupt. Not one of them is here to help. They're all here to push the agendas. They're not stopping the bunker fuel out here. It's being deployed all over. They're not stopping the chemtrails. And there's no such thing as healthy chemtrails. There's no such thing as healing frequencies through the 5G. It's all a lie, man. Everything's a lie. That's what makes this so hard to swallow. Because everything you think you know, it's not what's going on until you start digging. Then you're like, man. Just like when I first started learning about this weather warfare going on. And then the more I dug, I'm like, holy crap. We don't have natural weather. We haven't had natural weather for a long time. It's hard to believe they were doing electric rain making in 1903. Some of the first cloud seeding was done in the 1890s with balloons and shooting explosives up into the sky. You know, just like they steer the rivers on the ground by building the dams and the levees, they've been doing the same thing with the sky, but see, they won't tell you that. Just like they keep the hidden history hidden. You know, we're the peasants of the earth. But the thing is, you can either not do nothing and let them get away with it, or you can get off your couch, get off your phone, and start raising hell about it. Because otherwise, they're going to keep on getting away with the human testing. They're going to keep on getting away with ruining the air we breathe, ruining every single water aquifer on the planet, every single ocean, until the only thing left is the transhumans, the half robots, the half people. That's what their goal is. You know, they're going to upload their brains into some AI, some supercomputer. Why we're all gone. They just need us for a short time to get the technology going. I mean, they already got it. Once they're done with us, we're expendable. But you can't fear this stuff. You got to fight back, man. That's why we do what we do. Anyway, guys, we're going to call this a show. I want to thank everybody out there that helps shares this information out. Make sure you subscribe if you're not. Look at it. Look at them. They were really showing up right there. There's the ship tracks in the white lines. That's bunker fuel. That's the most toxic emissions on the planet being deployed. That's just one area down here in the Bajas. We were looking up over here off the coast of California. Why are you not seeing chemtrails in California right now? Because it's all being manufactured by these ships. So you can't even see the bunker fuel being deployed in these clouds, but you can right here until you start looking. You got to dig, and here they are. So here's a mass operation. Anyway, guys, much love. We're going to play a song called Rise, because we're all going to have to rise soon. Or you're at to shelter in place. Screw that. I'm not going to shelter in place. I'm not going to stay quiet. I'm going to keep on talking. Hey, thanks out there. Super chat. Much love out there. Definitely helps. Keeps this operation going. Then we'll play the fighting song, and then we'll play the victory song. I'll come join you in chat for a minute. I'll go to the D Live, join you guys in chat, and I'll give away the treasure chest. So much love, guys. We'll see you tomorrow night, God willing. Here we go. Crank it up.